mass. It is composed of tiny particles called molecules, and these molecules are made up of atoms, still smaller particles called atoms. Some of the characteristics of molecules. These molecules are very small in size, almost as small as 10 to the power minus 10 meters, and therefore can be seen only through a very fine microscope. They have spaces between them, and it is known as intermolecular space. Now, the space between these molecules is very little in case of solids. The space is a little more in case of liquids, and in case of gases, the molecules are much further apart. These molecules are in constant state of motion as they possess kinetic energy. So once again, due to the intermolecular space, in case of solids, the intermolecular space is very little and the molecules vibrate about their mean position. Okay, very little amount of kinetic energy, they vibrate about their mean position. In case of liquids, the kinetic energy increases, and in case of gases, the kinetic energy of molecules is much more. Now these molecules are in a state of, they attract each other, which is known as intermolecular force of attraction. Intermolecular force of attraction. Once again, the intermolecular force of attraction is maximum in solids, less in liquids, and least in gases. These intermolecular forces of attractions, intermolecular forces of two types, force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Force of cohesion exists between molecules of the same substance, molecules of the same type, whereas force of it exists between molecules of the same type, and force of adhesion exists between molecules of different types. So these are the two types of intermolecular forces, force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Cohesion between molecules of the same nature, and force of adhesion between molecules of different substance. I hope you are all familiar with the states of matter. The three states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas, depending on the heat absorbed or given out by these substances. There are certain properties which decide the state of a substance, whether it is going to be in the solid state or the liquid state or the gaseous state. And these properties are intermolecular space, force of attraction, and kinetic energy of molecules. All these I have discussed earlier. So intermolecular space is least in case of solids, and the intermolecular force is very strong. Therefore, kinetic energy is very small in this case. In case of this is the molecules in a solid are very compact. This is in liquid, and this is in a gaseous substance. Kinetic energy in solids is very small. Intermolecular space is reduced and matter exists as a solid. In case of liquid, what happens? Intermolecular force is not so strong. Kinetic energy is high, and therefore the intermolecular space increases and matter exists as a liquid. In case of gas or in a gaseous substance, what happens? Intermolecular force is negligible. Intermolecular force becomes negligible when the substance is heated, when the substance receives heat. Kinetic energy increases very high, and intermolecular space between the molecules becomes much more, and therefore matter exists as gas. Alright? Let us see the difference between solid, liquid and gases in a tabular form. We have already seen it earlier. Let us see it in a tabular form. Solids have a definite shape and a definite volume. Liquids have a definite volume but do not have a definite shape. Gases neither a definite volume nor a definite shape. Second point is the molecules in a solid are rigid, in liquid not so rigid, and in gases non-rigid. Point number 3, molecules in a solid can vibrate about their mean position. In case of liquids, the molecules can move within the boundary of a liquid, and in case of gases, they can move freely. Point number 4, intermolecular force is very strong. This we have done earlier. Intermolecular force in solids is very strong. Intermolecular force in case of liquids is less strong, and in case of gases is very weak. In the solids, molecules are very closely packed. In case of liquids, molecules are loosely packed, and in gases, the molecules are wide apart. And therefore, because the intermolecular force is very strong, solids cannot flow, liquids can flow, and gases also can be made to flow. Similarly, the intermolecular space is least in case of solids, higher in case of liquids, and maximum in case of gases. So this is a summarization of all the differences between solids, liquids and gases on the molecular basis. It's done on a molecular basis. Alright, so we'll do up to here. Thank you.